I've been traveling through South Africa with my family for the last 2.5 weeks. And as a spiritual consultant, one of my gifts, curses, is that I see the bigger picture. So, in traveling through the country, it has really occurred to me the huge disparity that exists in this country between the haves and the have-nots. And I've lived in a lot of different places in the world and visited others, but I haven't seen this level of the minority oppressing the majority. In El Salvador, um, you saw the same level of poverty as you see here, with people, masses of people living in the ghettos around the cities, as you do here in South Africa. But the wealthy were daily threatened with their lives. They were living in compounds. They're afraid of the disparity that exists. Here in South Africa, it's a minority that owns all the land. It owns the business, most of the businesses, and they see. My wife said it looks like this is a white country, because we don't see the poverty. And I said, yes, but it exists and it's huge. Um, the wealthy just go about their business. And I asked a young guide who was giving us a tour. I took him aside and I said, this really hurts me to see this level of disparity, the wealthy neighborhoods, and then just people living in the most horrible conditions around these wealthy neighborhoods. I said, how do you deal with it? And he looked at me and he said, we've gotten used to it. We don't think about it. And I don't know how to deal with that. Um, how can you make a difference in such a society when there's no impetus for change? It seems to me, it's just my impression. Um, so I'm just trying to get my thoughts together about what I've seen in my 2.5 weeks here. It's hard to digest, and I just wanted to share that. As I said earlier, I read Trevor Noah's book, Born a Crime, and he lays out the whole history of apartheid and the blacks in South Africa, matter of factly and sometimes in a funny way. But one thing he said really, really has hit me, and it sunk in as I was here. He said in his book, and he wasn't joking, he said, the Jews are lucky because they can mourn their dead. They know exactly how many Jews died in the Holocaust. In apartheid, we don't know how many were killed. There was no records. Nobody knows how many were killed during apartheid. Probably much more than were killed in the Holocaust, but nobody knows, so nobody can mourn. And it's not trying to say that, their loss is greater than the Jewish loss, but the difference that he saw is that the blacks and the coloreds here don't have something to hang on to and some history to hang on to, because the history was cemented over. It wasn't written down because the blacks were treated like animals and they weren't counted. And that's something I'm having a hard time dealing with, especially, seeing some of the luxuries that exist here, and the the welcome that we've received in our travels. Yeah, it's something I'm struggling with, and I just wanted to share that. Come on.